The culture is actually damn good.
You got fire in your gut?
Are you kidding me?
I'm always
I'm calling both games.
This rendition of Sportsball is brought to you by nothing. It's good to see advertisers are finally coming to their senses. I need a nice cup of reality. Benchwarmer brew in the armchair quarterback blend. Hot and craft roasted unlike my takes. Dark and bitter just like me. Drink the coffee. Just fucking drink it. I'll leave it to Washington to play with incredible fire against one of the best teams in football, only to reveal it was a massive cock tease. I always thought commies were valiant defenders of their homeland. If they had Washington's defense at Stalingrad, the city would have fallen in 3 hours. The fuck is this Ben, Chicago? Who knew DJ Moore was good when you actually chucked the ball to him? Their O-line is mauling people? Justin Fields has time in the pocket? I thought Washington had big names on defense. Or was that fake like their secondary? Know how sad the reskins were? They handed Chicago their first win in almost a year on a silver platter. Riverboat Ron's checked out to his resting quarters and is letting the team flounder. Like a true sea captain nearing the end. So what got into Chicago to not be shit? Probably a legendary bear infusing his spirit in the team from beyond. That actually makes a lot of sense. They did it for Dick. I'll gladly accept this as a valid reason. Ring the gong for a legend moving on from this mortal coil. Rest in peace, Dick. You figured out the defense against Buffalo's relentless rampage across America. Make the team play a game out of America. Against an offense that's been destroying opponents for the last 3 weeks, Jacksonville spread them like they were beans on toast. The Jags defense forced the Bills to become one-dimensional. So much so that they repeatedly clamped them down whenever they had a chance. 7 of 11 Bills drives gaining less than 20 yards. Beating them at their own game. And the Jags offense would do just enough to get them another needed dub. Thus deluding Londoners into thinking they are the early 90s Cowboys reincarnate. Now only if they could do something about randomly imploding in the red zone. That could be a useful improvement. But that's a smaller concern, it's all good, you got the win. Buffalo, however, must sacrifice another piece for going berserker mode. Matt Milano. He's out for the year. It's turning into the same shit as last year with them, I swear to God. Bill, it was a hell of a run. You made us hate you for years with Brady and elite defenses and taped practices, but we all have an expiration date. Yours is here. Look at how awful your offense looks. Mac Jones isn't just cooked, he's pissing himself out there. Dude's turning into Squidward in the kitchen, just burning everything in sight behind an O-line that doesn't block. If there's a read, he misses it. If there's a bad throw, he makes it. If there was any confidence, it's gone. Good work, Patriots, you've near completely ruined a promising quarterback. The second straight week Mac was dragged out of a grease fire as he tried to make an omelet. Considering how off he is, it might be his last chance. The Saints used this as impetus for an inquisition. New England's worst home loss since 1969. The worst stretch for a team since the tanking Dolphins of 2019. Punting on a 4th and 3 at the Saints' 40. Is Rod Rush your head coach because it might be 1990? It's also worst case scenario for New Orleans. If only because they get another week of Pete Carmichael trying to jam square pegs into round holes. It's a blowout win, but at what cost? The team looked good, but how much of that was simply because the Pats are dead? When you're a top prospect in the NFL, you're usually stuck in shitty situations. Bryce Young went from roughly the NCAA All-Star team to the football equivalent of Major League. We need to have some serious conversations about the Panthers. How has Ike Ekwonu and the O-line regressed this badly? How has Frank Reich gone from a quality coach to a washed-up bum in 2 seasons? Is David Tepper meddling in team affairs that much? And why is Carolina not getting any credit for being one of the biggest shit shows in the league? Charlotte's a hub for transplants. And apparently any talent that players have flies out the first chance it gets. Their defense is solid, but if they're out on the field for long stretches of time, of course Detroit's going to eventually break them. The Lions are for real. And they were in the same boat as you for a long time, Carolina. I'd start by wondering how to avoid handing Caleb Williams to Chicago with the first you're giving them. Easy win for the Lions. Well done. Daniel Jones is the NFL's Mr. Potato Head. Every time he gets sacked behind that shitty O-line, pieces of his body keep falling off him. Bad news this week, Giants. Wink Martindale's been waking up in a cold sweat. He walks into his master bath and silently weeps in front of his sink. His defense is up against the Dolphins. They can score on teams at will. And New York doesn't have a game-changing answer to stop the likes of Tyreek Hill or Devon Achane. The sad part was that Wink's unit did their job by making incredible splash plays. They forced the Dolphins' offense into 3 critical turnovers, including a 102-yard pick six. They made Tua throw some really shit balls. Yet with their offense without Saquon, they can't take advantage of it. There's nothing here. They can't get anywhere close to the goal line. And against Miami's firepower, you're fucked. When hell rains upon you, you get more than burned. Daniel Jones reached his hit quota for the day and was pulled with injury. Remember though, if you rightfully criticize the shitty O-line, you're a burger or hot dog flipper. The Tywin Lannister quote and all. Hey Evan, at least the fast food worker can hold his position on a fucking line. Chase Claypool might be joining you there if he doesn't get his shit together. It was a rocky road, but sometimes those have to be traveled to realize a fact of life. You don't know what you have until it isn't there. The Colts have been close in games this year, but something's missing. They lack a safety valve for AR. A bitter months-long standoff has led to a realization. Indy needs Jonathan Taylor. On a lonely Friday night, Jim Irsay takes one of his guitars and an amplifier to the outside of Jonathan's house. He plays a sweet, sentimental serenade begging him to come back. The lyrics are nectar to Taylor's ears. A 3-year deal worth $14 million a season. $26.5 million guaranteed. A good way to start to ask for forgiveness for stiffing him earlier. To Indy's joy, Jonathan says yes. The impasse is over. Glad to see the more logical heads prevailed in this situation. Irsay didn't get in his own way for once and Taylor got the bag. I'd say everyone wins here. So Indy, I have a legitimate question. Why did you throw all of that money at Jonathan Taylor if Zach Moss has been running hog wild against defenses over the past few weeks? Don't get me wrong, Taylor is the better running back, but it seems like excess goods. A classic AFC South rivalry game is his return match. And it's an even contest for the most part. Indy and Tennessee are both trying to reload on the fly. And with Anthony Richardson adding new wrinkles to the offense... Welcome back, Gardner Minshew under center. It won't be too much of a downgrade, at least in the throwing department. I do take issue with not taking the damn points before half, however. Just take them. They're free. You never know when you're gonna need them. Fortunately for the Colts, the Titans' offense is very hit or miss depending on who they play. In the second half, they start hitting. They hit a lot. It turns into an offensive showcase for both sides, which is pretty standard stuff for this classic rivalry game. The question is who fucks up first. Both teams are putting up points, but the Colts still have a 4-point lead. In the fourth quarter, Tennessee is pressing near the goal line and has a 4th and 1. The good news, they hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. If they run him out of shotgun to the outside, why neutralize what he's best at? More bad news, the Titans defense can't stop the Colts on a long-ass 7-minute drive. Game finished. Indy played you like a fiddle, Tennessee. I know you boys still think you're competitive, but if you can't beat a young, hungry team like the Colts, you might as well pack it in. Isn't your run defense supposed to be good? Arthur Smith has many pundits shitting on him for his baffling offensive decisions, but they somehow work. Desmond Ridder has been a mess these past few weeks, but he still gets the call against Houston. The Falcons are a very, very strange team this year. They'll be relatively quiet as an upstart Texans gang chips away at everyone's sanity and attendance. What happens for both teams? A whole lot of nothing. Stalemates in trench warfare. All quiet minus a few skirmishes that go absolutely nowhere. Mostly fumbles by Atlanta near the goal line, adding to the eternal frustration. But the ally of the Falcons this season has been the fourth quarter. Start with Bijan being Bijan. When they use him, he makes it count. A long touchdown drive to regain the lead. Then Desmond Ridder vindicates his coach's loyalty. Solid passes driving the ball down the field for a field goal. However, there's an issue. CJ Stroud is looking like a gem. In their hour of need, he rallies the Texans' ragtag bunch to a long drive of their own and whittle time away until they strike for critical damage.
Throws for the end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
That's a statement drive if there ever was one. Houston now has the lead. But there's another problem. Desmond Ridder is responding in kind. Atlanta can throw the ball to Drake London and Kyle Pitts. It's the perfect recipe to get them right into field goal range.
And who got it? And Atlanta wins it.
As I said, Atlanta is a very strange team. You never know what you're going to get out of them on a given drive. In some cases, it's good things like this. In others, well, we don't really want to talk about that. AFC North football is an acid trip. Even then, that's not a good enough explanation for whatever the hell this game was. Matt Canada is apparently on the hot seat, which we all know isn't going to mean anything since the Steelers don't fire coaches. They can't fire a damn thing on offense either. The Boo Birds are flying down throughout every shitty play call and failed drive with pre-snap motion. The fan base yells fire Canada in unison, but you'd have to keep going to get any real change. Unfortunately for all of us, Mike Tomlin is a master of voodoo and the dark arts. The other team will conveniently fall apart when it matters yet again. The Ravens' receiving core hadn't dropped a pass all season, yet now they're dropping 9 mostly super easy catches with big implications. They pissed away at least 16 to 23 points just by fucking the ball every chance they got. Lamar's about to grab a machete and start hacking off their hands, because they sure as hell aren't using them here. If they aren't fucking up, then John Harbaugh is being a fucking idiot. Take the points and go up by 2 scores, dude. Don't try this cute shit before half. You're keeping Pittsburgh in the game in spite of how terrible they look. You know what they say? The longer you fuck around, the more you'll find out.
Snaps it. And it's blocked! Pittsburgh blocks it!
And right on cue, the Ravens begin to reap what they've dropped. Their offense has gone from dominant to hesitant and nervous, afraid to fuck up. And they're fucking up as a result. Even their defense is crumbling to Steeler, whatever you can call what they're doing. Be thankful that Matt Canada's a shit play caller and the offense can't perform. They're stuck kicking a field goal in the red zone. Their attack gets eaten alive again, but thankfully the Ravens have a secret weapon. Gunnar Olszewski. Why is this guy still on the team? Put this man where he belongs. In the garbage. I'd celebrate Baltimore's long guaranteed win, but then Lamar makes the shittiest throw he makes all game. Look, I know your receivers can't catch, but don't throw the ball right to the fucking cornerback. The Ravens can't get out of their own way, and the Steelers are getting bailed out of their own incompetence. As Kenny Pickett finally turns on since Matt Canada is locked away in a closet. Everyone watching already knows what's gonna happen.
We're down to 1:23 to go on a 2nd and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation! Touchdown! George Pickens!
You are absolutely pathetic, Baltimore. You spent too much time pissing around, wasting endless chances, and it cost you the damn game. The Ravens should have won this game by 30. That's how poorly they played. The Steelers are out here fucking up on kneeing plays, and you still can't overcome their failures. This was total self-destruction. Technically, both teams lost. Pittsburgh may be temporary kings of the North, but Matt Canada's staying put. Nothing's going to change. This has literally been the Steelers for the past 5 or 6 years. Getting bailed out by splash plays and the other damn team collapsing to bullshit to another goddamn 9-win season. As it has always been written, Steelers get Super Bowl. If I had to give a participation trophy to a team that busts their ass to lose by 2 scores, Arizona would be the team that gets it. Oh, how they heroically overachieved to scare their opponents. Never look past them, because they'll keep it tight. For about 2 quarters. Since he didn't turn the ball over because they refused to take the points, they simply wanted their defense to generate point production of their own with a pick 6. Seamless game planning. In this match, the Bengals felt more like the Bengals. The offense was finally clicking after 4 weeks of nothing, and the defense was holding their own. Jamar Chase ate like a god in the receiving column. Chemistry with Burrow once again. The asterisk here is that it is the Cardinals, but as I said, they play hard. They're like Rudy, without the feel-good aspect and happy ending. All they have are rumors that they'll move on from Budda Baker and Kyler soon. No complaints from Cincy, though. They'll take anything given to them. When I was hearing this call on the radio, I thought it was an Eagles home game. Considering it's at SoFi, it may as well be one. Another week passes, and another game where the Eagles choose to toy with their prey first ensues. The sad thing is that they still look good, despite not reaching their potential yet. They have multiple ways they can kill you, mainly in their ability to eat shitloads of game clock, featuring 4 drives over 5 minutes long, 2 of them eating over 8 minutes of it. The score looks a lot closer than it should have been, but that's because, once again, the Eagles aren't running at full potential. LA, you can fight it all you want. You may get Cooper Kupp back, but the less you squirm, the more painless your death will be. Just let them get 450 yards of total offense and be done with it. But not before Jalen Carter and Hassan Reddick eat you alive first. No offense to the Rams, they are good, but how good are they really? Everyone circled this week on the calendar for both teams. The ultimate showdown. The former hack that wasted a season for Denver versus the current one that's getting a pass because he has a better reputation. Despite the ballyhooed promotion, he is wasting another season for Denver. At Mile High, an alleged football game was played. Allegedly, these are two teams that have playoff aspirations. These playoff aspirations apparently mean the Jets' offensive line leaving Zach Wilson to die in rust cooking safeties by means of intentional grounding and failed red zone drives. Here's the thing, Sean. You are correct about Nathaniel Hackett, but if you're gonna say it, you better back it up with evidence. What is your evidence, Mr. Payton? An offense that's only interested in executing itself? Once again, you fixed Russell Wilson, at the cost of everything else. Don't think about it too hard, or else it's gonna fly past you like Brees Hall smoking you for a 72-yard touchdown run. The Jets are giving you chances to come back into this game. It's the trail of candy to lead you to freedom. But then you overthink it with trickery that proceeds to execute itself. Sadly, you don't have the Steelers' endless supply of horseshoes stuck up your ass. But the Broncos' defense holds. Somehow. And the Broncos' offense manages to score a touchdown. Somehow. I know, shocking displays of competency from this group. You even get a chance to make a death-defying comeback drive thanks to a Zach Wilson interception. Do you do it? Of course not. Chef Russ eats a sack and the Jets score. You wanted to get on the ride? Well, you forgot the golden rule. The ride never ends. Nathaniel Hackett gets his revenge against an arrogant foe. In spite of himself mostly, but it's still revenge. We all saw it coming from a mile away. I don't know what to make of Kansas City. Are they the world beaters they show against the likes of Chicago? Or are they merely dancing through the raindrops as they've been showing most weeks? It feels like something just isn't clicking optimally in their game. The Chiefs will have these drives where they showcase the talent that's made them champions. And then they'll just sputter and let their opponents claw back into matchups. Being fooled by fake punts to being chipped away by Jordan Addison to fall behind by 3. Even worse, Travis Kelce suffered injury and you have no idea if he'll be back. Here's the frustrating part. The Chiefs snap out of it and start to play quality football, driving down the field slowly but surely to retake the lead. And they would not relinquish it. Even Mr. Pfizer himself comes back and scores a touchdown to take a 14-point lead. Should be over, right? Well, if the Vikings are good for one thing, it's making it at least a one-possession game. They like to drive their fans to the drink. Plus, KC is allowing them to claw back into the affair once again. They're near the red zone now, and 4th down is upon us. The deep ball is incomplete, but there are blatant defensive penalties on the play. Show me the flag!
There is no foul for pass interference.
No flag? Really? If that isn't Minnesota in a nutshell, I don't know what is. Sorry kids, all you can do is accuse the league of rigging the game, even though the Chiefs are penalized to all hell. We know it's a hollow reward. Their season's going downhill in a hurry. 1-4 with every loss by just one possession. I expected regression from them this year, but like this? If this keeps up, both Cousins and Justin Jefferson may be out in the offseason. For differing reasons. This game showed us that there are 2 tiers of franchise in the NFC. Despite the claims of certain delusional men that shall go unmentioned, the Cowboys got a very rude awakening in Santa Clara. It happens most times they play them, but let me spell it out for you again. Dallas is a good team. San Francisco is a juggernaut. Everything that the Cowboys can do, the Niners went up the mat and then some. They literally could not be stopped. Kyle Shanahan is currently buying up every piece of land available for the taking in Frisco. The Niners straight up own the Cowboys. Any more domination and they'll be able to make Dallas into a vassal state. Bow before your lord and kiss the ring. You have no chance to make do against this power. They will now gladly take your firstborn as tribute. This was one of those games where I wish we could just hand both teams' losses and call it a day. Monday Night Football games this year are gonna drive Joe and Troy to Al's stash. This game wasn't lopsided, but sloppier than the average bar on St. Paddy's Day. What I saw were 2 franchises that desperately tried to hand each other the win, but they were too honorable to simply take what was in front of them. We know of the Raiders' failure to do anything. They've been long cursed by Mark Davis trying to discover necromancy. Green Bay, even if they're without Aaron Jones, just look like shit. They can't do anything against a defense that was whipped by Kenny Pickett. The bar is insanely low, yet they couldn't reach it. What is it with Jimmy G-led teams and humiliating the Packers in front of their fans? Game may be tied in the second half, but when Vanilla Joe Barry's leading the charge, you're chucking linebackers and Devontae Adams. I forgot to mention, this is his first game against his old team. He and the Raiders might enjoy having a 4-point lead, but no one else does. This interception at least isn't Love's fault, it was a deflection. But neither team can do anything. Until Josh McDaniels happens.
All right, guys, the decision by Josh McDaniels is to try the field goal for a 7-point lead. 52-yard try by Daniel Carlson. He hits the upright. No good.
It's 4th and 1 at the Packer 35 with 2 minutes left. Your opponent has 1 timeout. Why the fuck are you kicking a field goal? You're not going up by 2 scores here, man. There are times to take the points and there are times to go for the kill. Go for the fucking kill. I don't even care that they missed the field goal. It's the whole idea that has me triggered. Sadly for the fans in attendance, Aaron Rodgers isn't their QB anymore.
4-man rush. Love. End zone. Intercepted.
Josh McDaniels is so fucking lucky Jordan Love was trying to play hero ball on that drive. Dude won on accident. Green Bay is humiliated. And considering that David Bakhtiari is becoming the modern Tony Baselli, it's going to be a long year. The Packers might not have a franchise QB for the first time in ages? Oh no! Welcome to the rest of the NFL. It takes a special case for locale of the week to be separated. And oh boy, we have a doozy in the college ranks. Mario Cristobal, I would go to a neurologist immediately. I suspect you have brain damage. Against a team they should crush in Georgia Tech, ranked Miami is in a dogfight. Despite doing everything in their power to hand the game to the Yellow Jackets, Miami is eating clock away on a final drive. But there's a problem. His name is Mario Cristobal. Georgia Tech has no timeouts with less than 40 seconds left. You should be in victory formation. Take a fucking knee! Why are you running the fucking football when you have the fucking game won? Why is the running back not falling on the fucking ground? Why is this fucking harder than it has to be? No shit the Yellow Jackets marched down the field, because the defense is already checked out, resulting in Georgia Tech winning by 3, which is about as many IQ points as Cristobal displayed in that final minute. Dead serious, this should get him fired with cause. Mario is robbing the University of Miami blind with this incompetence. I wish I could get tens of millions of dollars for failing to do my job. Just pull a Kaepernick and take a fucking knee! Why is this so hard for people to understand?
Bring out Jaden! Bring out Jaden! Bring out Jaden! Bring out Jaden!
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Bloodlust of the football gods will never be quenched. Amen.
Not him. Jumped up and made the sack.
Razzle dazzle. Purdy. Coming out, Kittle. In empty space. Kittle, number 2. Touchdown